There are more than 100 colleges and universities in the state of Georgia, but only one post-high school option for students who are intellectually disabled. Julie Wolf takes us inside that program and the fight under the Gold Dome.
I wanted to go to college. I wanted to experience the college life like everybody else.
We are behind in supporting individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We rank in the bottom 10 of all states.
A coalition of advocacy groups trying to draw national attention to the death penalty case involving Warren Lee Hill. Kathy Keeley with All About Developmental Disabilities says Hill's IQ of 70 meets the standard for intellectual disability in all other states. She says her group wants the Supreme Court to review Hill's case.
The court has found in the past it's illegal to execute someone with an intellectual disability. So we are hoping if they review this case, they would not only stay, but change the execution to life without parole.
Now, after two previous postponements, Hill's execution is now scheduled for Monday.
10 minutes after Warren Hill was supposed to have been put to death, Kathy Keeley got word he was still alive. Her reaction?
Stunned. Simply stunned.
Keeley is acting director of All About Developmental Disabilities, a group that's been working with Hill's defense team to raise awareness about intellectually disabled people on death row. Hill has been classified as borderline mentally retarded, unable to comprehend the significance of the death penalty.
We believe because he hasn't proven intellectual disability that he should not die for these crimes.
For now,
Welcome back to Primetime Lawmakers, your daily in mental retardation.
Yeah, that's a great question. Mental retardation, usually the onset is before 18 and oftentimes at birth. And again, it affects there's deficits in cognitive functioning and also adaptive behavior. It's not something that can be managed by taking a pill, by taking medicine or medication, whereas mental illness, the onset can be at any age. And it's generally a psychiatric diagnosis and managed with medications.
A developing story within the last hour, the Georgia Supreme Court refused to stop the execution for a man scheduled to be put to death in the coming hours. Channel 2's Lori Geary joins us live now from the state capitol, where mental health advocates gathered to convince lawmakers this case is a prime example of why Georgia's death penalty law needs to be changed.
We don't believe anyone with an intellectual disability should be executed.
According to these advocates for people with developmental disabilities.
Georgia death row inmate Warren Lee Hill is scheduled to die by lethal injection in about a half hour.
Hill was sentenced to death. On the steps of the Georgia Capitol today, a group of his supporters held a press conference saying it would be a miscarriage of justice if Hill were to be executed. Here's Rita Young from the organization All About Developmental Disabilities.
We believe that putting anyone to death who has an intellectual disability is an injustice. The Supreme Court has given a categorical exemption to individuals who have intellectual disabilities to exempt them from the death penalty. So to execute anyone that has a known IQ of 70 would be a miscarriage of justice.
InfoStar, Atlanta's news magazine on Star 94 FM and 790 The Zone, WQXI AM. Now, back to Rob Stadler.
When it comes to raising children with disabilities, in many cases, mothers are the primary caregivers. They make many personal sacrifices for their sons and daughters. But how can we as a community reach out and offer a helping hand even if we don't have the time? There's a nonprofit organization here in Metro Atlanta that's launched a new awareness campaign. Here to talk about it and the difficulties that mothers of disabled kids face is Kathy Keeley, Executive Director of All About Developmental Disabilities. Kathy, thanks for calling InfoStar.
Good morning.
Maybe first we should define developmental disabilities. What is that?
Yeah.
Fox 5 News at 10 starts right now.
A listening ear. That's what a local nonprofit wants to give to mothers of kids with disabilities. And Fox 5's Caitlin Pratt is live in Control A to explain. Caitlin.
Deidre, well, it's the little things that mean so much to mothers of children with developmental disabilities. So this Mother's Day, a new community campaign to let moms in need know people do care. You don't have to do it alone.
A lot of moms become invisible, and that's the hard part, because we learn to look away if we see somebody with a disability.
So this Mother's Day, DeKalb County-based nonprofit All About Developmental Disabilities is launching a new campaign called All About Moms.